last night. I made 2 sets of dough for my sourdough bread, making sourdough bread. The way I'm making these is, I'm making them 2 different ways, but right now I'm going to do what's called pre-shaping. I'm only going to do 1 roll for right now, maybe 2, I'm not sure. So anyways, what you do when you pre-shape, I don't know if you guys can see here. I'm going to take this dough out that's right here. Set it on the surface, pre-shape it, and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Every time I make a video on my sourdough bread that I'm trying to make, I always watch other videos, like a refresher to refresh my brain, right? Because this is still a work in progress. So I'm going to dump this out. Now this time I must say my bread the dough seems to be a lot more manageable than it has been in the past. The thing about this dough and sourdough bread, it's very, it's wet and sticky. It's not like regular bread that you make. I make a lot of flour tortillas, and once you make the dough, it is not sticky at all. Matter of fact, that's one of the signs that your dough is very well hydrated and it comes together because it gets silky and soft. So you can see this is coming out, which is what I want. Alright, get it all out. There it is. This is the best my dough has ever looked. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And I'm not putting it back in the bowl after this. So what I'm going to do now is what is called pre-shape. And basically pre-shaping is just forming it into the bowl or loaf that you're going to make. Okay, so now remember it's sticky. It's going to be a little sticky, so you want to keep your hands a little wet. Not like super duper wet, but just a little wet. So, and all we're going to do, by pre-shaping it is give this dough some tension. So check it out. Get your hands wet again. This dough feels much better. And all you're doing is turning it. If it's too sticky to get, that's where these bench scrapers come in handy. You're trying to bring it together, right, into a loaf. So you're turning it in on itself, basically, right? And as you turn it in, it tightens, believe it or not. This is the hardest part for me since I've been making the bread. So as you really, in my opinion, what you're doing right here, as you pre-shape it, bringing it together, is you're making it tighter, right? And that's what you're doing. You're tightening it up like a ball. I'm kind of shocked right now, guys, just to be honest, because I haven't had success yet. And this is pretty exciting when you finally get something right. So you're moving it around, pushing it in on itself, and what that does is it tightens it, right? It tightens it and forms it, and really what it looks like when you're physically experiencing it is it looks like you're shrinking it. That's what it kind of looks like. So you're turning it in on itself, trying to form it, right? That water really helps.
Oh, maybe because centimeters
See
is
that?
the smallest
It's getting
unit
smaller.
of a meter. And
Pushing it in. So what that's going to do, you
feet.
see the bubbles on it. It's going to make it a little tighter too, right?
Okay, foot is a smaller unit of feet because you. Oh.
So keep turning it.
Oh.
Turn it in on itself.
So it's the smallest unit. It has to be 1 unit.
Now it's going to start
Not 3
looking
units,
more and more like
not
a
14 units.
real loaf
So
of bread.
it has to be 1 foot or 1 centimeter.
You got to remember though, especially for me, I'm basically kind of talking to myself, is that because I'm used to making different tortilla dough or masa, what we call it. I'm so used to making that, I've been making it for years, that when you deal with something really sticky, I mean, it even feels weird, right? So you keep turning it in on itself. You see how it's getting tighter, right? Because you're pulling the skin, basically kind of like stretching the skin underneath. It makes it tighter. Then you can see the bubbles, all right?
1 meter, 1 inch, 1
Because
mile,
later on, I'm gonna
1
shape it, and when you shape it is when you stretch it out a little bit, and then you roll it together. That's what gives you the layers. But yeah, this is starting to look better and better, more and more like a loaf. Boule is what they call it. I don't really care too much for the terms. But turn it in on itself. Remember, water's your friend here, because flour makes it kind of like cement. So we're just pre-shaping. Right? We're bringing it together a little tighter. After I do this, I'm going to let it rest for 15 to 20 minutes. That's going to give it kind of like a skin, right? And then I can work with it some more. But yeah, that's all you're doing. You guys can see that. Turn it this way.
So it can be.
Turn it in on itself. Now after you let it rest for 15 minutes, that's when we're going to form it some more. So, pretty cool.
Not 6 centimeters. Let's go back real quick so we can see why we were getting it wrong.
Make sure you get that way it doesn't stick. I have another loaf that I'm going to pre-shape. I made this loaf afterwards, and it's a totally different method of making this. I took this with I use the same starter, but I made it differently. This is from I think his page is called the Sourdough Journey, or Sourdough Made Easy. Either way, when I come back on, I'll give you a shout out, the creator. Yeah, that's it. Now I'm gonna let this rest for 15-20 minutes. What that's gonna do is gonna give this kind of like a skin. This is gonna be the top. Then I'm gonna take it, stretch it out a little bit, form it, and roll it, which is the final shape. And I'll let it rest some more before I put it in the oven to cook. This one I'm gonna cook in a Dutch oven, which I have over here. You can see it right there. I'll preheat the oven. The other one, I'm gonna make it. I'm just gonna put it straight in after the shape and the final shape. Let it rest a little while. I'm making sourdough bread. Thanks for watching. That's pretty much it right now. I'm gonna let this rest for 15-20 minutes.
Which person should measure? Go ahead.
And I'll be back afterwards.
Does that describe volume?
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Bye.